I've decided I'm going to start recording reaction videos again because I used to have a lot of fun doing it. And we'll start with this because this is the video that I already had up. Me. There we go. Maybe it looks a little less fuzzy now. Who knows? It's not going to be as good as the ones I used to shoot, but I don't remember if I uploaded any of those anyway. So we're just going to stick with this. I don't have a Galaxy S23 anymore. It broke. But this seems to work pretty good. This is one of those Moto G, one of those new Moto Gs that came out. Anyway, we're going to watch a video about conspiracy theories.
For thoughts from all over the internet, many of which are pretty compelling, so let's get right into them. Okay, here's a crazy one. Elf on the Shelf was created by the government to make the younger generations desensitized to being constantly watched. While Santa was always watching you from some far-off distance that you couldn't see, the elf on the shelf was in plain view, normalizing you always being watched. Thinking about this more, I suppose another example of this would be a baby monitor. I'm going to be honest.
I don't remember what Elf on the Shelf is. I know that I've heard of it, but I know that nobody I knew actually had anything like that in their house ever. So I don't know. I don't really know what it is. Is it actually something that records? Like a nanny cam? Or is it just a toy that sits on your shelf? I don't know. I don't remember.
I hate this one. The Mandela effect. This bizarre phenomenon is the public name given to the testing done on the public to see how much they can erase and alter both physically and digitally, and to gauge our reactions to it. Not only would this show how far governments could go with this technology, it would also show to them how much pushback changes would receive and how to adapt accordingly. With the advent of AI and other technologies we don't yet know about, we know it is very possible to change the reality in which we live. I've covered hundreds of Mandela effects on this channel, so
yes, this is the channel to go for Mandela effects, in my opinion. Well, give me a second here. All right, so this might be a good time to tell you. The channel that we are watching is called All Time Scary, or at least it used to be called All Time Scary. I think it's just called All Time now. If you look over in the top right corner, that's the name of the channel, and I actually recommend it. The guy makes very good videos. He's a good editor, good writer, script writer, you know. He does very well. And I definitely recommend his Mandela Effect videos. Now, as to the topic itself, I don't think it belongs in a video titled "Low Stakes Conspiracies," because I don't think there's an angle that you can come at the Mandela Effect that doesn't have huge, far-reaching implications, right? Like your typical stuff is, it's either a time travel thing or it's a CERN, like an accidental after effect, or even a purposeful after effect of colliding particles together or some shit like that. I personally would rather go with the time travel thing. People are actually going back in time and changing shit, is how I would see it. There's also the slipping in between different realities angle. You know, all that. But even this one, he says is low stakes, that it's just the powers that be testing to see how far they can go with changing history, you know, changing the way we perceive history. Even that has huge implications. So I don't think it belongs here.
this is obvious. History is written by the winners. Here's an interesting one. Vacuum cleaner companies make vacuums artificially louder than they need to be, because people subconsciously associate louder with being more powerful, and people want more powerful vacuums.
Okay. That one legit belongs on this list, because even if it's true, it doesn't fucking matter.
About all the bank robberies you've seen in TV shows and movies. This next low-stake conspiracy speculates that these robberies are deliberately designed to misrepresent how to actually rob a bank. Why? Well, for one,
Because
it makes it so you can't actually rob a bank easily.
exactly.
And secondly, it makes doing so will more than likely get you caught. Lint rollers.
Just like a movie cannot, they like legally cannot show you how to make a nuclear weapon. Same thing. Nuclear weapon. Did I say nuclear? Holy shit. I never do that.
Are specifically designed to leave a coating of adhesive on your clothes, leading to more dust and debris sticking, therefore increasing lint roller use. And speaking of the solution causing the problem, the goal of a dentist is to clean your teeth and keep them healthy. But dentists make way more money when your teeth aren't clean and they aren't healthy. Meaning, are dentists incentivized to some...
All right, we can lump both of those last ones together under planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence is absolutely a real thing, not a conspiracy theory. Well, I mean, it's a real conspiracy. It definitely exists.
Sometimes find problems that aren't there. I don't know.
That galaxy I was telling you about worked absolutely fine. And then I updated it, and ever since I updated it, it just keeps restarting. The phone just never stops restarting. I deleted a bunch of shit, I factory reset it, and it still does it. It's toast. There's nothing I can do. Every 30 seconds it restarts.
About you, but it makes me wonder.
So guess
The
what?
idea
I
of
had to buy
calling out
another
and
phone.
making fun of Karens was invented by big retail to put people off of complaining. If true, they essentially made being loud, annoying, and awful in public.
Okay, I don't know if it was made by big business. But one thing's for sure. It makes it to where lazy, rude employees can get away with shit. That's what it does. So, if it's made by big business, maybe. Or maybe it's just a trend that was started by lazy employees that don't like to be called out on their bullshit.
Deeply unpopular to the mainstream. Honestly, this conspiracy is one I can get behind. Here's a devious one. All of those home improvement shows are funded by home insurance companies in the hopes that you'll make unlicensed and unapproved changes to your home. This way, they'll have a reason to reject any insurance claims you might try to throw at them.
Okay. That's sort of similar to what is actually happening. What's really happening is exactly what you see in the TV show Home Improvement. These shows are actually funded by tool manufacturers because they promote the tools that you will then go out and buy so you can make your own repairs.
One that I personally believe in is the conspiracy to convince unthinking and uncritical people that the word conspiracy means a crazy person's imagination. This one is so malicious because it instantly makes outside of the box thinking a negative thing. If you suggest something outside of the mainstream belief system, you are an outsider.
Absolutely real. It's been real since the 70s, the 60s, maybe even the 50s.
Now, most people don't want to be that, so they jump right back in line.
Yep.
Now, obviously, there are a lot of silly conspiracies and plenty that have been thoroughly debunked. But here's the thing.
And that's the other side of the conspiracy, is there are conspiracies deliberately deliberately manufactured as distractions, which a lot of the conspiracies on this list would count as distractions.
Conspiracies, regardless of what you think, are real and they happen every day. Good, bad, and everything in between. In an attempt to get people to stop thinking about things critically, the word got hijacked and is now used to immediately discredit whoever says it. It's practically a trap to use the word, so you have to dance around it if you want to describe people planning things in secret. What about when you're at the airport and security makes you throw away any water bottles you have? The low stake conspiracy here is that they do this to force you to instead buy overpriced bottles of water at the airport. This example proves that conspiracies are happening all the time. Yes, even comically stupid ones.
Yep.
What about the idea that antivirus?
It's the same at movie theaters. They don't want you to take any snacks in because they want you to buy their overpriced snacks.
Software on your PC and phone is probably spyware that you pay for. I 100%.
Actually, that's guaranteed. Not even a conspiracy theory. I mean, it's just a fact. This is stuff that's been proven, and I'm pretty sure this stuff is included in stuff that Assange leaked and stuff that Snowden leaked.
And see this one being true. The lines on laundry detergent cups are much higher than they actually need to be. The amount you should use is actually much lower than they tell you. I just put out a new video on Patreon, so check it out after.
Yeah, go to his Patreon. Give him some money if you can afford it. I'm not gonna make you watch that, though.
The show Antiques Roadshow was invented by the upper class as a way to show off their ill-gotten gains, while disguising it as light entertainment. Essentially, they want to show off their beloved yet illegally acquired historical goods in a way that doesn't get them in trouble. Paper straws.
I'm a little skeptical on that one. I watched a lot of Antique Roadshow growing up. Granted, I did not watch the original UK Antique Roadshow. It was the one they showed on PBS here in the United States. Pretty much every episode is like poor people who inherited something from their grandpa or something when they died, and they're like, hey, I wonder what this thing even is. And they take it in and they get it appraised, and they find out it's like some ancient well, not ancient, some antique Tiffany fucking lamp or some shit. You know, that's what it usually is. And most of the time what you actually see on Antique Roadshow is somebody thinking they have something really good, but it's actually garbage.
Selected as replacements for plastic ones by Big Plastic, so we'd associate more environmentally friendly changes with soggy inconvenience. Here's one. Big Bacon is making bacon thinner every year, so they can market to us thick-cut bacon.
Okay, I kind of wish this was true. And this is the entry that actually made me want to actually start recording. I'm the kind of guy, I like my meats to be cut thin, right? It doesn't mean I want less meat. It means I want it to be cut thin, right? And it's impossible to find bacon that is thin cut. Everywhere I go, all that they have is rows and rows of extra thick or thick. There's never thin. You know what I'm saying? I like both meats and cheeses to be cut thin because, in my personal opinion, it brings out the flavors better when it's cut thin. You don't have to believe me. That's my own personal opinion on the subject.
Which is just the previous year's regular cut bacon. The Anti-Consumer Act of Shrinkflation strikes again. Less product.
But yes, shrinkflation is a fucking thing. But I don't think it's happening with bacon. You know what I do think? When it comes to stuff like bacon or specifically pork and chicken products, right? The quality of the meat has been going down drastically. Like, I remember, like 10 years ago, well, maybe a little more, maybe like 15 or something like that, I would actively choose Tyson because I knew it had consistent cuts of meat, right? It wasn't going to be gristly or random shapes. Everything was going to be cut pretty much the same, and it wasn't going to be filled with gristle. It's the opposite now. It's not like that now. Tyson is one of the fucking worst now. You go and grab a bag of Tyson Southern chicken strips, right? And every single one of them is a vastly different size and shape to the first one you pick up. And every single one of them is going to have some completely inedible, gristly piece. Every single one. It's ridiculous. Even the texture of the meat through a single chicken tender is not going to be consistent anymore.
For you, more money for them. It's a massive scam happening in every single industry across the world. By the way, I have an entire video on the topic of shrinkflation that's pretty good. It's called Why Everything Sucks Too. Check it out, link in the description. Fashion companies and handbag companies are secretly working together to force women to buy purses and handbags because their pants lack pockets. First they remove the pockets or shrink them down to an unusable size, then sell you a purse. Yeah. It's all a scam.
Okay, here's the thing. That's a chicken before the egg argument, or chicken or egg argument, you know what I mean? So, yes, women's pants need to have real pockets. And you know how I can tell you this? Because my wife steals my pants and wears them so she can have pockets. Right? That is definitely a fucking thing. But it's not like that to force women to have purses, because I hate to tell you this, but purses are a lot older than women's jeans that don't have pockets. Women's jeans used to have pockets, and they still used to use purses. So, I mean, it might be the other way around, right? It might be because women use purses, they don't put pockets on the pants to reduce the cost of manufacturing. Because they know the women are going to use a purse instead. If you couldn't tell, this one was the first visceral react of the video. Because I didn't watch this far through before I actually started recording.
Here's one that I think is so clever and fun. What if Lisa Frank was a time traveler from the future who used AI art to create their massive brand? Or perhaps the generative AI models we use today were trained on Lisa Frank? Which one came first?
Yeah,
the chicken
or the egg?
or the egg?
Another one.
During the 2016 election, Disney was so confident Hillary Clinton was going to win, they began to build her animatronic for Disney's Hall of Presidents in Magic Kingdom. And when Trump won, they had to quickly rework it to look like him. This might sound unrealistic, but look at this photo. Try to tell me that this isn't an animatronic Hillary Clinton face, quickly redone to look like Donald Trump. Absolutely hilarious. And speaking of Disney, what about the conspiracy that Disney named its movie Frozen, so you don't get search results and articles about Walt Disney's body being cryogenically frozen anymore?
Oh.
It's as if they took a search term they didn't like the results of and created a new IP to cover it up. The new term blows up and takes up all the results in SEO. So now if you search Disney Frozen, you get the movie Frozen, instead of Walt Disney being frozen. That might seem like a silly example, but I've got more examples to back up this claim. The term inside job is very suppressed. So much so I can't even say what I'm talking about here. If you know what I'm talking about...
Was 9/11 an inside job? Was it an inside joke?
You know how that content...
I'm just a pickle.
...has been scrubbed from the internet. You are not allowed to talk about that stuff online without having an army of bots and censorship coming your way.
Was the 11th of Earth Fire an inside job? Was it an inside joke? I don't know. I'm just a sweet roll.
Coincidentally enough, Netflix put out a single-season animated series called Inside Job and then quietly canceled it. It was an adult cartoon series about how silly and goofy conspiracies are. You see where I'm going with this? Now, when you look up Inside Job on any search engine, this now canceled and forgotten show is all that comes up. Regardless of what you think about the idea of an inside job, you have to admit, that's pretty weird. Now let's check out a third example. There's an
Here's one. I mean, for sure, Netflix makes horrible adult cartoons. They make pretty okay kids cartoons sometimes, though. Camp Cretaceous is really good, in my opinion. So is Chaos Theory. I was watching Sonic Prime earlier, and I liked it. I've got kids. I've got 5 kids now. So I have a good excuse for watching kids shows.
new show on Fox called Universal Basic Guys. This poorly animated show is about workers who lost their jobs due to automation and now get $3,000 a month universal basic income checks. Now, obviously, automation is a real concern going forward, and universal basic income is a potential solution. These aren't just speculative ideas.
Right now, I'm trying to figure out. Obviously, this month is weird because I just had to take a week off of work, but I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if I make $3,000 a month as it is. I don't know. I don't remember. I think I do. I think I make more than that. But depending upon where you live, $3,000 a month is not that bad.
They are real concepts that are being explored right now. So why make this show? To talk about an important issue? No, it's to make fun of it and kill the idea in the minds of viewers before it even has a chance to spread. From the exaggerated $3,000 a month they receive, to the opening jokes about buying fine art because they have so much money and don't know what to do with it.
No. 3,000. Nah. $3,000 a month, especially if you live on the West Coast or the East Coast, is not good enough to live off of, really.
It's obvious there's an angle here. Do you know of any others? Stephen Hawking's time traveler party was actually attended by many, but to avoid any accidental paradoxes from being created, it was reported that nobody showed up. A lot of the Pokemon games are released backwards. Red and Blue are set in the distant future where most Pokemon have become extinct. If this was the case, it would now make sense why the player is repeatedly sent out with a Pokédex to discover Pokemon that have already been discovered. You're actually being sent out to find out which Pokemon haven't gone extinct yet.
Okay. It's interesting to think so. Because the Pokemon Red and Blue / Yellow era of the games, there was only 100 Pokemon, or like 101 or something like that. And the idea was that you could catch them all. But every new game, they started adding more Pokemon. So you're never going to catch them all because there's more Pokemon every fucking day.
Massive billion-dollar Powerball lotteries are a scheme used by the government to catch time travelers trying to change the future. In fact, I made an entire video on this very concept. Check it out. Link in the description.
Okay.
The 2016 clown scares.
That.
Do you remember this?
Yep.
In 2016, there was news story after news story about creepy clown encounters and sightings. These stories seemingly appeared out of nowhere, and then they abruptly stopped. The news about them simply ended, and no more press ever came out about them. None of them were ever solved or investigated further. Now there's a theory about all this, that it was a viral marketing campaign for the It movie remake that came out in 2017. No one has ever come forward to say yes, it was to promote It, but it's a pretty weird coincidence. This one I could totally buy. When Coca-Cola introduced new...
I know it came out way before Stranger Things. But if they really wanted to make a good It remake, they'd have the guys from Stranger Things make it. Because that's what, like, the whole season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things is like. It's basically like It as a TV show for me.
Coke in the 1980s. They did it intentionally to distract consumers from noticing they switched from cane sugar to high fructose corn syrup in the original formula. The idea is that people would complain so much about New Coke that when Coca-Cola switched back to their original recipe, they wouldn't notice the subtle difference in its recipe.
Yeah.
Chapstick companies design their product to meet...
And here's the thing. I don't know why, but Coca-Cola, there isn't even a cane sugar version that you can get. Unlike with Pepsi, where you can get throwback Pepsi. Any given time, you can get it. Can't do that with Coke. And I don't know why.
Easily lost. It could easily be in a square or a triangle shape, but then it wouldn't roll away and you'd have to buy another one. Another thing is that chapstick is made to easily melt. It could simply be made to resist heat better, but then you'd never buy a new one.
Sometimes it fucking melts in your pocket.
And obsolescence. Not only that, sticking to the topic of chapstick, I'm fully convinced that chapstick purposefully makes your lips more chapped, so that
You are going to make me lick my lips. Stop it.
you keep using it and buying more. It seems as if chapstick actually makes your lips stop producing moisture on their own, thus increasing your need for
You
more.
bastard.
Rocks are actually soft, but they tense up when you touch them. Which one did you like the most? And do you have any low-stake conspiracies you believe in that I didn't mention? Let me hear them in the comments and check out
That last one. Wow. What if, like, you have all those like those very specific kind of megalithic structures, like in South America, where you have these very strange shaped rocks making up the walls that seem like they should be impossible, right? Like they were cut, but they're not cut. Hi, kitty cat. Maybe there's something to that, and that's why those things are shaped that way. I'm sorry, buddy. I already got a kitty cat, and he's a boy. He'll probably kick your ass if I take you inside. Yeah, I know. You know what, buddy? If you hang around, you're still out here in a couple days, I'll bring you some food. I can't afford to go buy any more right now, but in a couple days I will be. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I do recommend you go to All Time and like and subscribe. It's a good channel. He does very good work. I'm going to start uploading these. I work a lot lately, and I only get I might be able to upload a live stream. I might be able to do a live stream or upload a regular video on my PC once every, probably about 3 times a week tops. And I'm probably not going to do it every day that I have off. But I could do these. I could do these little short things every once in a while on my phone, back and forth on the way to work if I want to. So I think I might go and do this format for a little while where I react to things. Actually, was thinking about starting this earlier. There's a couple other videos I watched. Both are Asmongold reactions that I want to give some feedback on. And I'll do those later. But for now, I hope you enjoy.